All right, guys. Hey, my name is Nina Means. I'm the director for the Austin Community College Fashion Incubator, and I am so glad to have you guys here for ACCFI Presents. We are here with Stephanie Beard of ESBY Apparel, right here in Austin, Texas. It's an incredible brand of, beautiful, just airy, light. The clothing is just beautiful. You have to see the brand. You have to go online and check it out, sbapparel.com. But we're so delighted to have Stephanie here, the founder and creator, the leader of ESBY, with us today. So, Stephanie, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. We have been going over this whole series on reopening retail and what that looks like for brands, especially in our area. We want to be able to talk about that and kind of share how brands are navigating this time and what that looks like and what the new normal may be. I'd love to hear from you. Can you just kind of tell us a little bit more about the brand and who the customer is and what you guys have been doing kind of before the pandemic hit?
Certainly, yeah. We just turned 6 years old this February. I launched the brand here out of Austin, and we opened up our brick and mortar in October of 2015. So we're going on 5 years having a brick and mortar space. Our clothes are all made in the USA, extremely comfortable, made of all natural fabrics. So our customer is generally female. We have some male customers as well because we do have a small male and unisex offering. But
Nice.
we offer apparel that is super easy to wear and very comfortable that you can wear from day to night. I came from the industry in New York as a menswear designer for the majority of the time I was there. And I was really eager for, button downs and pants and items that were very menswear-esque, but don't fit my curvy body.
Mm.
So that made me want to start a collection that would focus on apparel that you can wear kind of over and over again, day after day. What I've always said about menswear is, and men, and usually how they buy clothes, is that a man will buy a piece of clothing and just wear it into the ground for years. And
Mhm.
usually it's a little more timeless, a little more classic, so they can get more wear out of it. So we
Right.
try to teeter that line of um, kind of like the blouse that I have on now. It's a part of our spring summer collection, and
I love
I'm not.
it.
I also wore it yesterday. I just wear it.
I love it. It's beautiful. I love the color too.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just so comfortable. It's just kind of a vintage take on a button down.
Uh-huh.
And so we kind of teeter that line of pulling in vintage designs and things that we know will either like cycle back around or stay in style for a little while. So our customers that usually come to us, we are a premium brand, so our prices generally run above $100 and below 300, sometimes below 400 if it's an outerwear piece or something. So um, people are shopping for investment pieces with us, things that they know that they're gonna, feel good in and love and get to wear for a long time.
I love that. It's such a so needed, really. I think that so many times I think we're getting tired of just that fast fashion, like just, kind of too trendy to kind of continue wearing it over time. But I love that you're creating really this timeless style that people can really, hold on to for a long, long time. That's such a needed thing, especially now everyone's talking about sustainability. It's such a huge, component of what it is that we do. Um, what is, in terms of like making the decision to launch your label in Austin, like, can you tell me a little bit about just kind of the placement of that? Because one of the things that I was just so proud of your brand for was that I would like whenever I flipped open Business of Fashion, some time ago, I saw your brand, it named out as like one of the most, like I think it was just really kind of highlighting brands that were thriving outside of the LA or New York market. And so I was like, "Ah, Stephanie, she's doing it. She's at Business of Fashion. How exciting." So can you tell me a little bit more about, why Austin and how did you grow it here?
Certainly, certainly. There are aspects of that were just kismet, but there are also aspects where it was a strong business decision for me. I moved to New York right out of college. I had a fashion degree. I went to school at Appalachian State University and then moved straight to New York when I was 21, got a job at Tommy Hilfiger. So I and worked in New York for 10 years. I never would say that I really made it, in New York. It was tough, and to save money to be able to start a brand like this, I knew that I couldn't start it in New York. My money would
Mhm.
not go far.
Right.
So I saved for years, and a few reasons brought me to Austin. One in particular that I cannot deny, my husband, who I was dating at the time, we were dating long distance. We're both from North Carolina. And
Oh, wow.
he moved to Austin. Shortly after we were dating, he was like, "It's in the works. It's a plan I have, and I'm going to do it." And when we started dating, I was working at Converse as a menswear designer. And I one of our seasons was inspired by Austin, Texas. So
Wow.
they sent one of our concept people to Austin to take photos and immerse themselves in the environment here. Unfortunately, that person had too much fun while they were here. Partied on Sixth Street the whole time. Didn't get any concept for us. So I just had to go online, go to the web, look up Austin, and from my studies, I just loved what I was seeing. I'm definitely like a natural, down to earth person. Uh,
Mhm.
love summertime, and winters were tough for me in New York. So I knew that those were going to be things that I would love about Austin and fit well with the aesthetic of my brand. Um, Huge reason, top 5 places in the US to start a small business. It has been
Huge.
a world of difference. The second I landed here, I started working at Stag. I knew I had, experience in menswear, so that would take me far there. I did not have experience in retail other than when I was working retail back in college. I wanted
Mhm.
to learn buying, wholesale. I wanted to learn it all. So I got a part-time job working at Stag and just, got to know the owners, Steve and Don, and they've been amazing over the years, just kind of helping me learn. So that was great. And anyone I would meet in Austin, I'd say, "Oh, I'm starting this brand, ESBY. It's going to be made in the USA and apparel for women that last." And everyone was like, "Oh, you should meet my friend. They're a makeup artist," or "You should meet my friend. They, are a pattern maker." It was just a
Amazing.
world of difference than my experience when I was in New York. So it's been so amazing and it feels like home.
I couldn't agree with you more. I love the story of how that transition to Austin, really kind of it does sound like it was kismet, that you had to like do all the research and and then you could fall in love with it on your own. I also landed in Austin because of my spouse, and so I totally understand the transition from New York City. But you're right, like Austin has a very different way about connecting. It's much more open. It is very entrepreneurship friendly. But I will say, you made yourself a learner and created a space for yourself here where fashion hasn't necessarily been, really what Austin's known for. But you were able to create a brand in a space that wasn't really expecting to see you here.
Well, I was kind of seeking that out in a way too. I have gotten more exposure as a brand being from Austin, as opposed to, someone traveling to New York City. They're not necessarily gonna, pick up a local magazine or a shopping guide and find my store there, as well as, you would in a city like Austin, where while it's growing every day, getting bigger every day, it's still a small town.
Mhm.
So we get a lot of people, our store right now is located on South First Street. And while it's not, we're dead center in the middle of South Congress, we've associated ourselves with a lot of local businesses. So we've ended up in city guides and we're positioned near restaurants that are popular. So I think that's really helped people find us. And we do get
Absolutely.
a lot of folks that in and they're like, "I'm so happy to be here. I'm visiting from San Fran or New York or anywhere, Kansas City, and I found you on Instagram or something." So
Mhm.
it's been our social following has really helped us stand out as well.
That's fantastic. I visited the store on South First and I just love the vibe. It's got such a cool, I love the garage doors that come up. It's awesome. It's like the coolest space. And it just feels like it fits into that whole
Yeah.
restaurant kind of, you could almost bar crawl to, the store, it just feels like it's just kind of a part of the experience. Just a few months ago, we had this, crazy, hit with, COVID-19 and the pandemic. And, we had seen, the state go through this, do we close? When do we close? How do we reopen? Should we reopen? What was that time like for you? Because I mean, you guys have been building and steadily building a brand from a very unique space, but the moment that COVID-19 hit, I really feel like it changed our worlds in ways that we had never seen before.
I really did. Uh, Prior to COVID, um, our retail location has always been our number one source of revenue.
Mm,
And kind of by a long shot, we, prior to COVID, we sold through our retail space, we sold online through our website, and we also sold through wholesale channels.
uh-huh.
And our mix was close to, I believe it was about 70-30 was like our split for wholesale versus direct to consumer. Of that
Okay.
70%, um, around 60% of that was retail and 40% of that was online. So retail has always been our largest channel. And
Mm,
I know that that's because, we have a light and bright and super friendly space to come into.
we
Customer
do.
service is extremely important to us. We have never wanted to be one of those boutiques that, you walk in and you don't get noticed or you don't get a hello or, you don't get helped. We're also not overly salesy either to where we're going to push things on you. We just want you to come in and tell us what you're after and we'll try and help you find it. So when COVID hit, um, I believe it was March 17th. I think the day that it became super serious here in Austin and South by Southwest was canceled. And that was devastating to us as well. South by Southwest is our biggest revenue of the year. During
Wow.
South by, it's a whole other Christmas holiday for us, holiday
Right.
season. So we knew that wasn't going to happen for us, but we thought, okay, well, people will still come to Austin, so we'll just
Mhm.
still, do our events. We've had the SB Fest event during South by for the prior 2 years. We canceled it for this year when South by was
Yeah.
canceled. But then, it hit fast, and we knew we needed to just shut down that location.
Mhm.
That was a really, really hard week for me. I had to let go of uh, some staff members. I had to let go of our retail staff, and I had to let go of one of our salaried employees as well, and just get
Yeah.
as lean and trim as possible. Right around that same time, I also brought someone onto our team as COO and president of ESBY, and he's been amazing. His name is Gerald Tempton, and he's helped. I think without him, I don't know where we would be, but he's helped guide me through, those decisions and how we could quickly shift into online and
Right.
focus all of our energies. We have an office space as well as our retail location. So all employees, we left the office, we started working from home. I'm set up in my home now, and I
I
was going to
love
make
it.
a decision to, have this meeting from the office today, but why not show you exactly what our life looks like right now?
Exactly. Exactly. This is our new normal, right?
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, long story short, we had to make some really tough decisions immediately. Had to go into discount mode online with our spring summer collection, just to get people, interested in buying. I think every brand probably had that same experience. And then it was immediately focusing on what loans could we get, what assistance, what grants. So we just immediately started applying for as many things as possible. And with Gerald's help, we were able to get the PPP.
That's
Um,
awesome.
because of that, we were able to bring our employees back.
That's amazing. What a great story. Literally, I got chills, like the circularity of that, and that within a few months' time, that even if you had to let go of your employees, that the PPP loan really allowed you to be able to get back, your team. It's really such an integral part of your brand. That experience that
So,
you guys provide. So that's incredible. It's been amazing to me the challenges that stores have had and brands have had to weather during this time. Like are there any particular things that you really feel like you're, particularly, sorry, this is my working from home. I've got my little one here. I think yeah, so thank you. So one of the things that, I think that I've been personally curious about, I've heard kind of the evolution of what you had to do with the store and the brand, but what about for you? Like, how's it been just kind of managing yourself during a time as an entrepreneur, as a, business owner, really having just that vision and, the courage to kind of keep moving forward?
right. I think there's actually been a lot of positive things and changes to my life since all of this has happened. And I would say prior to COVID, I was running a business with 6 or 8 employees and people to manage. I was also actively trying to fundraise for my business.
Hmm.
I was traveling nonstop for wholesale, which is a division that we actually cut out during COVID as well, just to help kind of eliminate some of the risk of making apparel for businesses that may not be able to accept that apparel. Um,
Hmm.
I was traveling. My husband is in the restaurant industry, and
Oh,
we have
wow.
opposite schedules. So he unfortunately was let go at the beginning of this as well. But we see each other now,
Yeah.
and work Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, or I've got a more balanced life, I feel like now than I had before. I think I was overworked. I think I wasn't focused or balanced. And now we get up every morning and take our dog for a long walk through the neighborhood. And we do it again when I close the computer. So while it has been hard to transition, working from home and knowing when to start and stop, I finally got the hang of that, and I think that it's given me a balance that I don't want to go away.
I would agree with you. And I think that, now that we've all kind of had a taste of this, I think that our new normal may include a bit more of this, don't you think? Like, just the ability to enjoy our families more and the ability to, I'm literally got a lap of stickers, but this wouldn't happen, sitting in the office, right? This is kind of a unique opportunity. One of the things that I wanted to kind of uh, carve into a little bit more was just the change of your direct to consumer e-com wholesale mix. Can we talk a little bit about your modeling, because I just found that really fascinating. I know where the fashion industry has been is, we've been talking about being more digital, we've been talking about being more, keeping the value chain kind of in this very like electronic space, but we as fashion, we like to touch, and we want to have, the spaces kind of, much more tactile. um, you had mentioned before that your COO kind of helped you guys make a hard transition into e-com and really pushing that digital experience. What has that been like for you, and what's the change been from like, now to like, this time last year?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So much has changed since COVID in this aspect. We actually, this time last year, started working with a showroom. And like I said, we've had wholesale. It's something that we've done internally for 6 years. So it wasn't a division that was growing to the capacity where we kind of felt like we got it to a space. And in order for us to really grow it, we needed those connections that a showroom would offer us. And a great showroom reached out to us, and we were so thrilled that they considered us. And so in the middle of last year, we really started to focus on wholesale. We got some great orders from our showroom for SS20. We delivered our
Wow.
first batch of the collection in January very smoothly. Our next delivery was coming in early March, and that's when the cancellations hit. So right when we shut down the store, we also had some huge accounts tell us that they were canceling some gigantic orders from us, that we had to take in. And
Wow.
while sure we had a PO with them, that wasn't strong enough to make them take the goods. And they
Wow.
were a large company, and I think when we realized that they could just say no to a purchase order that they committed to, that this wasn't the right channel for us anymore. And
Mhm.
just profit margins a little bit as well. Our profit margins were very slim for
Mhm.
wholesale. So it kind of also came down to how much time and energy are we putting into this division, and is it giving back what we're putting into it? So
Absolutely.
um, and early on, I do recommend wholesale for a lot of businesses, small brands, for a lot of reasons, because it's a great opportunity to advertise your brand. So if you think about, you're giving up some of those margin dollars for advertising, you
Mhm.
can get product out across the world. At this point and at our age, and it just made complete sense for us to just shut down the wholesale division. So really early on, late March, we decided to shut down that channel,
Wow.
um, and concentrate fully on online. And here we are, our remaining staff, working from home, sitting in front of our computers. We switched all of our modes from customer service in the store to customer service online. And I spent about 2 weeks completely revamping our website. So we have a new interface online that's been a little bit more professional, and a little bit, offered us some things for our website that we needed before, that we weren't putting attention into because online wasn't a huge part of our business. Now it is.
Wow.
So since we've super focused on our online community and our social channels and our email list, our online sales are up 88% to last year.
Oh my goodness. That's huge.
It's been
That's
a really
huge.
shift. Yeah. So also
Wow.
why we needed to bring our staff back, because we have web orders just constantly, and everything is. We don't have a distribution center. We're still small, in considering something like that. But all of our web orders are shipped out of our storefront, and they're also handled by our retail staff. So
Wow.
we did reopen a couple of weeks ago in a very small capacity, by appointment only. We're offering virtual appointments, um,
Okay.
and we're offering, only up to around 5 people, including our staff, in the store at one time, because we do care a lot about our customers and our staff, and we want to make sure everybody stays super safe.
Absolutely.
While we don't have a lot of retail traffic right now, we've got it online. So everybody's focusing on that customer service aspect.
That's incredible, Stephanie. I'm really amazed at how quickly you pivoted and how you've made that pivot profitable. A lot of businesses have really been struggling in that space. I mean, to land the PPP loan, to bring the staff back, to be able to handle your volume, to grow in a time whenever a lot of people are shrinking, is incredible. So kudos to you and the team, for making that, that really strong shift.
Thank you. I will
Um,
say it hasn't been easy, and it has been a bit of stress as well, just because we aren't where we thought we'd be this year, but we are surviving. So we are hopeful that things do continue to turn a corner.
Absolutely. No, I believe they will. We've got just a few minutes left here, and I always like to kind of ask a bit of a question of a bit of a crystal ball. Kind of like where do you kind of see SB as in the future, and what's the vision of where you guys will be hopefully this time next year and the years to come.
Yeah, we're still planning on some pretty steady growth. Gerald has a ton of experience in merchandising and marketing and running companies and retail and beyond. So having him has been our lifesaver, as well as our super strong team that's been able to shift and pivot. We are not giving up on retail. We actually will be moving to a new location, most likely. The percentages are high. We have not fully signed the lease yet, but percentages are high for us to move to um, a better area for us, into a neighborhood that's growing. We're looking at West 6th Street,
Oh,
and a
that's
space.
great.
So that will be wonderful. We're hoping to open up by Q4 of this year, unless anything wild and crazy happens, which we know as of this year it's possible.
Hmm.
So we do still have those retail plans. We are still scaling our growth online, and because we were able to eliminate our wholesale channel, we're dropping our prices about around 20% across the board.
Oh, wow.
We want to be able to offer, if anybody asks me, and people have asked me, if there's anything that you feel like is a negative about SB, it's I do want our brand to be more accessible to more people.
Mhm.
And we plan on offering a line of items that are a little bit more elevated basics, at a lower price point. So we will be, and we're not tied to that wholesale markup,
Right,
so we don't have
right.
to. So we're able to reduce our prices,
Oh, that's
so that they're
excellent.
more comfortable for everyone. So
Hmm.
we're excited about that as well.
That's amazing. No, you're right. I mean, taking the stand on not doing wholesale really does give you more flexibility in your price structure, which is fantastic. I think I've seen some brands that are, vertical, direct to consumer brands that are just, able to, be more competitive, a bit more sharply priced. And I love that you're taking that opportunity to bring more, customers into the fold, into the SB family. So that's awesome. Well, we've got a couple of minutes here. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much just for joining me for ACCFI Presents. This is really one of our favorite things to do in terms of just connecting with our local industry and our business owners that are really making waves in the fashion industry. So, Stephanie, thank you so much, for
Thank you.
your time here
I
today.
appreciate that you have made this an initiative, because I've followed along, and it's been really helpful to see our community, our fashion community. And I hope we continue to work together. We have some ideas for some things in the future as well, in order to bring in minority students to be able to learn and just come in and shadow us for the day. And I know our director of production, Mallory, who she'll be in
Yes.
contact shortly with you, because we'd love to get some help from ACC with connections there.
Absolutely. We would love to support that. We've really just seen such a need for being purposeful in diversity and inclusion. And so we really appreciate, your brand, taking on that mantle as well, making opportunities for students of a variety of backgrounds. ACC is really a very diverse, institution. And we do serve a lot of, populations that, typically universities may not see. And so it's really, for us, it's exciting to make fashion a bit more democratic, and this not politically democratic, but more available to the community and to people. And so it's nice to see that SB is also about really supporting and building the community as well. So I knew I liked you. I knew that we were very well aligned in supporting the community. Of all backgrounds, so it's really about being inclusive, which is just making it available for everybody. So thanks so much for your attention to that. And, that really brings us up to time. So I can't believe this 30 minutes zipped by so
Oh, I
quickly.
could talk to you forever.
I know. I was like, we should hang out. We should catch up. We'll have to do a Zoom call and catch up another time. But thank you again so much for your time here today. And we are so looking forward to connecting with SB and being able to partner more closely with you and ACC in the future. So thank you again, guys. If wait, before I let you go, can you tell us how do we get one of these virtual sessions with you and your team? Like, do we go onto your website, or how do we do this?
Yeah, so if you just go to sbapparel.com, right on our front page, there's a section where you can book your appointment. It'll allow you to book it virtually or an in store visit. And you can just almost like scheduling a hair appointment, you can just
Oh,
do the whole process online. Yeah.
okay, perfect. All right, so sbapparel.com, ESBY apparel.com. Guys, if you are looking for some amazing, beautiful, timeless, stylish clothing, you have to go to SB. You're going to love the brand. Just beautiful materials and fabrics and design. It's really for everybody. So check them out, sbapparel.com. Again, my name is Nina Means. I'm the director for Austin Community College Fashion Incubator. You can follow us on our YouTube channel for programming like this. At ACC Fashion Incubator, also on our social media handles at ACC Fashion Incubator. And if you haven't joined our email list, we'd love to keep you updated on all the exciting projects and programs we've got going on at fashion.incubator@austincc.edu. So guys, thank you so much for your time today. And this has been another YouTube Live with the Fashion Incubator and Stephanie from SB Apparel. So thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Nina.
Stephanie.
Thank you. Bye bye.